Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I make book and lifestyle related content, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. Today we are going to be talking about some anticipated releases for the first quarter of 2023. That feels so weird to be talking about already, that we're talking about 2023, but it is here. It is upon us. A lot of people do the anticipated releases of 2023 on their channels about this time of the year. I can't think that far ahead, so we're only going to do 3 months. We're doing January, February, and March of 2023, and I don't actually have a lot of anticipated releases. I don't know if that's common because I actually haven't done a Q1 anticipated releases video in quite some time. I didn't do one last year. I don't think I did one for 2021 either, because that was a weird year. And so I don't know if this is normal. Are there not normally as many books coming out at the beginning of the year? I don't know. Or I'm just missing them. I probably am missing them, but I do have 9 books to talk to you about that I am very excited about. So without further ado, let's get started. The first one coming out on January 3rd is one of probably a handful of YA books that I will be reading next year. I've talked about on my channel that I'm kind of gravitating away from YA. It's just not what I'm gravitating towards anymore. However, Talia Hibbert is coming out with a book, and it is titled Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, which is adorable. This cover is adorable. This is a academic rivals to lovers YA romance where they get paired up during this wilderness camp, and they have to work together, and they, fireworks, sparks might fly. That kind of thing. It's Talia Hibbert. I know it's going to be really cute. I am very curious to see how she does YA, because her books are normally steamy and spicy, and obviously you can't do that in YA. So, very curious, but this will likely be one of the first books that I pick up in 2023. Do I Know You by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broga. This is the author duo that wrote The Roughest Draft that I read this summer and really enjoyed. This book is about a married couple who are at a resort for their anniversary, but they're kind of falling out of love. They kind of just feel like they're there with a roommate rather than their partner. And the bartender mistakes them both for being single and not together and introduces them. And they don't correct the bartender, and they start flirting, and then they're like, oh, this is kind of fun, and they're getting butterflies, and they just kind of it becomes the sexy flirty thing, they're on a first date again. And so then they start doing this role playing of not being married to each other. This one just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, but they do tend to write some pretty serious conversations into their books as well, so I'll be really curious to see what this one has. Also coming out on January 24th is A Shade of Madness by Tiago Abdallah. This seems a little bit preemptive because this is the sequel to A Touch of Light, which I have not read yet. But I really want to love this book. This is a classic fantasy with 2 realms, one that celebrates life, one celebrates death, and so obviously there's going to be these, warring factions. Everyone is telling me to go into it with very low expectations because there are things that I don't normally like in fantasy that I may not like in this, but I weirdly have really high hopes for it. So because of that, I'm really excited that the second one will be coming out shortly after I finish the first one. I will be reading A Touch of Light for the Spiffbo finalist. Also, the cover for the sequel is beautiful. I'm very excited to read A Touch of Light. I listened to the audiobook sample of it and it sounds fabulous. So we'll see. I'm putting this on my anticipated releases because I am anticipating that I will love A Touch of Light and will want to continue on with the series. Then on January 31st, there are also 2 books that I am very excited about. The first one is Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun. This is the 3rd book in the Finlay Donovan series, and I read the first 2. I liked the first one more than I liked the second one, but the second one ended on a cliffhanger, just like the first one did. They end on cliffhangers that kind of lead into the story of the next book. It just kind of kicks off the next book. And I'm very curious to see where this one goes. I have heard mixed early reviews about this one, but I am excited. We're going to start working with the Russian mafia, really getting involved with it. If you know, you know. It's gonna be a good time. And then also coming out on January 31st is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. This is the third book in the Last Hours trilogy, which is like the Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, and then Chain of Thorns. I've not read any of them in this trilogy. I will be. Like, I'm gonna try to binge them. And then I know that Cal, Margaret, and I are probably going to be doing reading sprints like the day it comes out, trying to read it like very quickly. It's gonna be a good time. The prequels to City of Bones have been my favorite so far. So this one has a lot of the same characters in that because it's like a sequel to the prequel, if that makes sense. So I am very hopeful about this one. Plus, as it's getting older, I feel like the books are getting, like their books are kind of aging up as well. They don't feel as young adult as City of Bones did. So very excited about this, very excited about the experience that I'm going to be having. Moving on to February. There are two books on February 7th that I'm very excited about. The first one is Radiant Sen by Katie Robert. This is the fourth book in the Dark Olympus series. I've read all three of them, like up to this point, Neon Gods, Electric Idol, Wicked Beauty, and this is the continuation of it. Off the top of my head, I actually don't remember the pairing in this one, but essentially this series takes romances like that are inspired by Greek mythology, puts it into this like modern world, this modern political system, and so like the first one was obviously Hades and Persephone, then we had Eros and Psyche, and like so on. I don't remember what this one is, but let's be honest, if it's written by Katie Robert, I'm going to read it. The next book is a little bit of an off-the-wall book because it's an author I have not read from before, but the premise of this book sounds amazing. And it is Not the Plan by Gia de Cardenet. I could be saying that name very wrong. I do apologize. This is a political romance, which is things that I love. One of my favorite tropes. This is about the, I think, chief of staff of one of the, like, people running for Senate, I think. And then another guy who is like running against her team or is working for the guy running, you know what I mean. It's two political staffers. I really love the behind the scenes of politics. I wanted to work in politics for a long time when I was in high school and college, but I never wanted to run for office. I always wanted to be like chief of staff, right? So, I enjoy the politics of that. So when you add in a romance to it, you cannot go wrong. Well, you can. I have read bad ones, but I have high hopes for this. We'll see what happens. Also coming out in February on the 28th is Emperor of Ruin by Django Wexler. I'm actually reading this one right now and really, really enjoying it. This is the third book in the Burning Blade and Silver Eye trilogy, the Ashes of the Sun trilogy. It sounds better. Gay fantasy Star Wars. This is the third and final book in that trilogy. It's wrapping up really well, and I highly recommend this series, especially for someone trying to get into fantasy. I feel like it's very accessible, very easy to understand. It's not dry. It's like the world is just so immersive. This is easily becoming one of my favorite series, and an author that I really want to try out more next year. And then lastly, coming out on March 7th, we have The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, and this is by Shannon Chakraborty. This is the person who wrote the City of Brass trilogy, and this book is about pirates on a ship. Pirate thieves on a ship. And this pirate that has to take on a job. It sounds like it's gonna be great. I don't know what it is about it, but a pirate novel sounds fascinating. Also, this cover. Whoever designed this cover, A+, you need a raise. Anyways, this is the start of a series. I'm very excited about it. Don't know a lot about it, but it's pirates. And I really enjoyed City of Brass, so very excited about it. I know that it's gonna be fantastic. All right, those are 9 books that I'm very excited about reading. Let me know if I missed any, because I'm sure that I did. So let me know down in the comments below. If you are not feeling chatty, you can do a clock emoji, because it's the end of the year. Okay, I'm still struggling with that. Still trying to wrap my mind around that. That is all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.